It's a school bus? Seriously?
It is a school bus. It is a 1999 international school bus, originally from Tennessee.
I was going to say, where do you get a school bus?
You just go find them. It takes a little bit of digging, but eventually you stumble upon the right school bus that fits you. We have a 30-foot school bus, so it's a 2/3 length, and it's a flat front, short wheelbase, and all of those things that I just mentioned are actually really important to me. But and we gutted it. We completely gutted, take the seats out.
And you live in it?
And then we rebuilt it like an RV, and we live in it. It's more of a tiny house than an RV.
So who lives in it? Let's clarify this.
Sure. So my wife, Philan, and I, we both live in the bus, and 3 of our 5 kids live in the bus as well.
3 kids?
Anybody that doesn't have kids... Or I should say, anybody that has kids, there's an alarm going off in their head right now.
How old are your kids?
So the kids are 6, 8, and 10, and those are the ones that are living on the bus with us full-time for 1 year, traveling the country. Our older 2 kids are in college, and they're like, nope, we don't want anything to do with this. But the younger ones, they're in it.
Talk about life experience, though. That's pretty cool.
And that's really what... that's really why we did this. It was for the kids and to get out there and let them see the country, experience life. You can learn all you want in a classroom and you can learn all you want, but getting out and just interacting with people, we feel is so much more important.
So you mentioned earlier you have 3 young kids living in this, and I think it's awesome, the experience they get from life, but do they fight more since it's more of an enclosed space? I gotta ask, because as a mom with 2 young kids, that's all I'm hearing.
I think the first week was like that, but it's actually, we've seen the reverse. You said you have 2 kids.
Yeah.
Our kids are 2 years apart each, so of course they fight. That's what siblings do. But we've actually noticed kind of the flip is that we see them more kind of gelling together and doing things more together because, well, they have no other choice. There's nobody else for them to hang out with.
Yeah.
Is there a timeout corner on the bus?
There's a timeout roof, so we have a roof deck. So, if you're in trouble, you got to go sit up on the roof.
Hopefully when the bus is not moving.
When the bus is stationary, yeah.
It's awesome.
But it's a tiny space. It's a 250 square foot footprint. And then from that 250 square foot footprint, there's a bedroom, which is, well, it's more of a bed than a bedroom. The kids have a triple bunk bed in the back, so they each have a little like cubby bed. We have a bathroom. We have a full kitchen, a living room / eating room area.
Go on Instagram and it's at Simply Us in a Bus, right?
That's correct.
I'm telling you, it's the #1 thing I look at on my Instagram right now. I'm not even kidding because it's
I watch those little things with the tiny home shows all the time, and I'm like baffled how, it's amazing what you can do if you're smart with your space. So how long did it take you to convert this bus?
All right. So total, it took us about 6 months. We bought the bus in November, and as we all know, it is brutally cold here in the area. So during the winter months, we actually gutted the bus. So it was a lot of space heaters in the bus, layers upon layers, and ripping out seats and ripping out floors and completely gutting the bus down to the frame. And then in March, when the weather kind of broke, we started rebuilding. And during those kind of off months, we also did some design work on the bus. We did a lot of Instagram searching as well, besides, some YouTube videos. I've never built a bus before. I've never built a tiny house before. I'm a tinkerer. Kind of, I don't want to say by trade, but it's what I like to do. And it was like, you know what, let's do it. So we started building in March, and we were finished mid-June, and that's when we took off.
How crazy is that? And so what's the furthest destination you've gone? Because I know you've gone way far west.
We did. Our very first, the very first month, we traveled all the way out to Washington. So we went to Seattle, Olympic National Forest. We actually went to the furthest northwest point in the continental United States. And then we went down into Portland, spent some time on a mountaintop farm, came in through Bend, Oregon, and then back up through Montana, across the incredibly long North Dakota flatlands.
I think it's really cool because, and I noticed you're not necessarily staying at like RV parks. So explain when you're on the farm, how do you connect with these people that are like, hey, you can park your Skoolie here?
Exactly. So there's a term called boondocking And basically boondocking is finding, this is a very layman's term, but finding a place to stay and not paying for it, or at least paying very minimal. Our buses, we're self-sufficient. So we have solar, we've got water tanks, we have water heaters, we have, I mean, it's basically you can just go park in a field and live for a week or two before you'd really have to come back. That's eventually what the plan is as the months go forward. But yeah, so and as far as how you connect, this right here, personal relationships. We'll pull into a city, you go down to the farmer's market, you start talking to somebody and they might say, hey, by the way, are you looking for a place to park your 30-foot bus? And we're like, well, yeah, how do we stumble upon you? There's websites too, you know, where you can just connect with people. There's a lot of people out there that'll let you stay on their property like the farm. That was through I don't remember which website it was, but yeah, we found her through that, and it was a mountaintop pig farm. They had like 40 pigs and chickens and craziness and kids. So we pulled up to this mountaintop
pig farm
at like 2 a.m. Got out in the morning and we're like, holy cow, this is amazing. We ended up staying there for like 4 days.
I'm telling you, the pictures are beautiful, and it helps that you're a photographer.
We are, yeah.
But the pic, I mean, just the landscape is just beautiful. Like you're instantly gonna have jealousy go through you. Like, I'm gonna buy a bus. I'm gonna flip it.
Well, I'm gonna hold off on the jealousy because it is not all. It's yeah, it's intense. I use the term interesting when somebody asked how our first month was. But it's, you know, at the tail end of it in the long run, it is so worth it. But yeah, you have to, it's a different way of living.
We can't let Aaron go yet without talking about your GoFundMe account. And I think it's pivotal to mention that you're not like, hey, we need money so we can go to the furthest point south in the United States. Why did you start off, why did you start a GoFundMe account?
So actually, the GoFundMe account started because on day one, we broke down.
Oh, man.
Where did you break down? This is important. Where you broke down?
We broke down at Riverside Drive. So we barely made it out of Rockford, and we were on the side of the road with the flashers on, waiting for the tow truck.
And you're like, oh, God, this was a bad idea.
Yeah, this was months of planning and building and sweat and tears. And then it was side of the road, blinkers on.
Oh my gosh.
Is this it? Did we make it as far as we're going to get? It was some mechanical stuff. I mean, you're going to have a breakdown. It's a 20-year-old bus. We knew it was going to happen. We just didn't think it was going to happen in the first day.
Yeah.
I mentioned that first month was interesting. I guess when you take on something like this, it's going to feel like you're getting kicked in the shins time after time. And that first month, there was just a bunch of stuff that was just stuff. And it was a lot. And so we were actually out in Portland, and somebody had mentioned, they heard what was going on. They're like, well, what can we do besides, let you park in front of our house and fill up with water? And I said, well, what do you mean? They're like, well, we want to contribute to what you're doing. We think that your dream of what you're doing, we want to do that. And we're not in a position to do that. We can't just get on a bus with our kids and just take off, but we want to experience that with you. And do you have like a GoFundMe or something? And I said, oh, I thought GoFundMes were like, hey, we're stuck. It's an emergency, or there's a medical thing. There's something going on. And this family, they're like, no, there's this hopes and dreams category, if you want to call it, of GoFundMe. And it's for people that are doing stuff like you, and for people like me who just want to be part of your experience. And so we did. We started up a GoFundMe because we've got people that are like, hey, we want to be a part of it. And so we started that. That's connected in our Instagram homepage, which again is simply us and a bus on Instagram, and also on Facebook. But Instagram is where we post the most, and the link for that's in there for the GoFundMe.
I think that in layman's terms, it's no different than going to a bar and seeing a band you like. They're getting paid to be there.
Yeah,
but you're going to give money anyways because
you like what they do.
Yes. Well, Aaron, we want to go outside and see the bus now.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Let's go take a tour.